Assalamu alaikum everyone. As you know that previously we were discussing about the auxiliaries, among which we have discussed the primary auxiliaries. Now today we are going to discuss about the modal auxiliaries. The words like can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, must, ought, need, dare are referred as modal auxiliaries or modals. These words express attitude like permission, possibility, necessity, etc. and etc. So, dear viewers, these modal verbs are known as defective verbs also. Though they are the part of the verb, but they are called defective verbs. Once again, let's see this. Can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, must, and ought. They are known as defective verbs due to some reasons. Because there are some parts which are wanting in them. They have no s, like we have s in the third person singular while we use a verb in present simple tense, like he goes to school. The original verb is go, a went, a gone, and then we use goes with the third person singular. But these auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliaries, do not possess this s, and also they have no infinitive. Of course, we'll be discussing it in the later topics what the infinitive is. And these verbs do not possess infinitive or the ing forms. Like we have all the verbs like going for go, coming for come, doing for do, and these canning, it has no when we use it as the verbs, they have no ing forms. So they are called defective verbs. Now let us discuss them one by one. On the screen, we have four auxiliaries: can, could, may, might. Let us take can. It usually expresses ability or capacity. As I can swim across the river. It means that I have a capability to swim across the river, or I have a capacity to do something. He can work this sum means I have ability, I have a capacity to do the sum. While we can use them to ask questions in the same manner to express ability or capacity, to ask for the capacity or ability, right? Can you lift this box? Now, second, may. May is used to express permission. In spoken English, this can often replaces may. We can say, you may go now. Instead of that, we can say, you can go now. We can say, may I borrow your bicycle? Can I borrow your bicycle? In both the ways, we can use it. May is used to express possibility in affirmative sentence, like, and can is used in the corresponding interrogative and negative sentences, like, we can say, it may rain tomorrow. He may be at home means it may rain tomorrow means that there is a possibility that rain will come pour down tomorrow because the clouds are on the sky. Prediction may be there. He may be at home. Somebody asks you where will he be, or where could he be? He may be at home means there is a possibility that he is at home. Can this be true in the interrogative sentence? Or we can say it cannot be true in the negative sentence. Now let's compare two sentences here. It cannot be true with it may not be true. When we use can shows impossibility of something. When we use it cannot be true means there is no possibility of being it true. And may shows improbability. It may not be. There are some chances of being it true, but most of the chances are not being true. May is also used to express wish. May you live long. We ask for prayers. Somebody, may you live long. May God bless you. And the next part of it is could and might. Of course, it seems that, like we have walk, walked, walked, teach, taught, taught, bring, brought, brought. In the same way, we find can, could, may, might. These are two different things. We don't call them as past tenses, but we call them as past equivalent. As could is the past equivalent of can, and might is the past equivalent of may. Now, what's a past equivalent? What's the difference between a past tense and a past equivalent? Now, as far as the past equivalent is concerned, it is just like the past tense. Means whenever we need a past tense of can, we can use could. Whenever we need the past tense of might, past tense of may rather, we use might. But we can also use this could and might for a different purpose in present tense also. For example, as a past tense, could. I could swim across the river when I was young. This ability, but in past ability. For example, I say, I can swim across the river. As a boy, as a young man, I have an ability to cross the river while swimming. But there is an old man who comes. I say, can you cross this river while swimming? He says, no, I cannot swim across the river. But he can use, I could swim across the river when I was young. Means this at present I haven't this kind of ability, but in past when I was young, I had an ability. When he was young, he had an ability to go across the river, to swim across the river. Now, see the another use of could. Could I use a cell phone? I can use also, can I use a cell phone? But this could is more polite than can. When you say, could I use your cell phone? You are in fact showing more politeness. I thought he might be at home. Now we can say, it may rain tomorrow. This is possibility. But when I say, I thought he might be at home, when I use might instead of may to show the possibility, while possibility shows remote possibility. Might shows remote possibility here. And may shows the nearest possibility or more possibility than might, while as might shows less possibility than may. And for the asking permission, we can use both might and could. He said, I could go, or he said, I might go. Might I go, or could I go? For the permission. And we also use this could and might as less positive versions than may and can, like we saw in this first sentence of this. When we saw the possibility. Now shall, should, will, would. Like that, should and would are the past equivalents of shall and will. Of course, in the future tense, we use this shall and will, and generally shall is used with the first person and the will is used in the second person and the third person to express future, a pure future rather. But like that, I shall be 25 next birthday. When shall we see you again? Tomorrow will be Sunday. You will see that I am right. These are the sentence while I have used this shall with the first person like I and we, and will with the second person you, or third person with tomorrow. However, in present day English, will is used with all the persons, means we can use this will with the first person also. We can say I will be 25 next birthday, or when will we see you again. Now the past equivalents should and would. I expected should, I expected I should or I would get a first class. I can say I should get a first class, I expected I should get a first class, or I expected I would get a first class. She said she would carry my bag. Should is used with all persons to show obligation. When we show the obligation or duty, you should look after your old parents. This is our duty. You should obey the law. We should obey the law. Means this is our duty, it's our obligation to obey the law. While in the conditional clauses, should is used to express a supposition, that we suppose something that may not be true, that cannot be 100% correct, but we use there. If it should rain, they might not come. Means that if there is a possibility, if suppose there is rain, and then they may not come. That is a condition of rain we put forth there. Some more examples with these kinds of modal auxiliaries. Would you lend me your scooter, please? When I say, will you lend me your scooter, please? When I say, would you lend me your scooter, please, it means that I am more polite while saying, will you lend me your scooter, please? So would shows more politeness than will. He should be in the library now. There's a probability that he can be in the library. I wish you would not chatter so much. So when we use would after wish, we express a strong desire there. I should like you help her, or I would like you help her. Here should or would are polite forms of want. Then must and ought. Must expresses necessity or obligation, as we must obey the laws. One must work or starve. For the fixed determination, he must be 70 now. You must come here. You must work hard. Or to express moral obligation or desirability. We ought to love our neighbors. This is our obligation, or we desire that we ought to love our neighbors. Now, to express strong probability, Nena ought to win. The movie ought to be a great success. One more, there is used to need and dare. Used to express a discontinued habit. Somewhere we had this habit in past, now we don't possess it no longer in present. At present rather. I used to live here when I was a boy. Somewhere in past I used to live in this place. I lived in this place when I was a boy. Now no more, and I have changed the place at present, and I say I used to live here when I was a boy. Now this need expresses necessity or obligation. He need not go means it is not necessary for him to go, or it is not obligation for him to go. When we conjugate this need with the do, their need has its usual forms. Like needs, you can use s with needs, or the second form need. Do you need to go now? I don't need to meet him, or he does not need to meet me. The one more, it's dare. The auxiliary dare while I've quoted in brackets, to be brave enough to do something more than your capacity. When we think that somebody has no capacity of doing this thing, and we use this dare, and generally we use it in negative and the interrogative sentence. How dare you touch my collar? He dare not do it. He doesn't dare speak to me. And by this we can say that we use this dare with the interrogative words or with the negative words. So dear viewers, by that we end the topic today, and we would like you to click and subscribe to our channel to keep watching more videos that are to follow. Until then, we'll come back next time. Fi amanillah.